right. Well, welcome everyone. It's Monday night for Spotlight. I'm Kathy Lawson. I'm Chief Knowledge Officer of the Great Discovery. I always love to host these because if you are like me, you love to learn, and what better place to learn than on the Great Discovery Learning Management System? I mean, that's what we're all about. So there are fantastic course creators and fantastic content out there. And this particular session allows us to learn a little bit more about courses and the creators that bring them to us. So tonight, we're going to have Kristi, and let me go ahead and introduce her while she's getting set up. So Kristi has a degree in microbiology and medical technology from Colorado State University, and she became a medical technologist to learn the hows and whys of medical conditions. Kristi's process recognizes that while bodies need the same vitamins and nutrients, investigating your blood type to help determine your best foods to get those vitamins can remove triggers for hunger and maintain your best weight, thereby helping digestion and reducing pain. Kristi believes that everyone can have awesome aging health. So tonight, Kristi's going to talk about a course called Feel Fit at Any Age. So are you ready to go, Kristi? I think you've got your content up.
I do.
Go for it.
Well, I started this because as a young adult, I could not stay awake all the time. Had trouble staying awake in class. So learning what to eat became paramount. Then when I watched my grandma not be able to walk and ending up in a nursing home for 20 years, and my dad not being able to walk and dying in a nursing home after 3 years, and I don't have any siblings, so watching my cousins die made me wonder what was going on. Someone offered me a carrier test. I recommend everyone take a carrier test if you can find a good one, because it tells you what you're going to be subject to in your genetics. Mine told me I have the Lou Gehrig's gene, and I went, oh, great. But I didn't know what it really meant until I encountered the pain that my dad had and probably my grandma had. So when I had the pain, I had to figure out how to overcome the pain by fine-tuning my food and learning how to get my colon really clean. That took some work, and I hope to expedite you all through the system so that you can stay vibrant as you age, because I've overcome the expression of that Lou Gehrig's gene and diabetes from my mother's side. This is all related to one slow gene that I've been told 40% of the population has, and it's now been raised to 80% of the population. My husband is 87 and dealing with not being able to walk and then a crabby colon. So he's been eating some of the foods I cook. He didn't want me to cook for him because I took a life insurance policy on him and he thought that I was going to poison his food. But anyway, so he's doing better today, and hopefully healing some of the problems that he's been having. Anyway, so I help people learn what to eat. I helped my 80-year-old friend lose 115 pounds and cure her diverticulitis. My dentist saw that I healed my gums. I was in an accident recently. It was my fault. Yes, I wasn't paying attention, and I messed up my foot and had to have surgery on my foot. The doctor who did my surgery wondered how I could heal so fast. Well, I knew I could do it because I healed my gums, and I told him I could heal, and he wanted to know how I did it. So they all are learning what I do. The thing about this is, and having good digestion is cutting out inflammatory foods. The main food is, of course, and not everybody agrees because they're not reactive to it, but my husband can't walk, and if he would put other foods instead of waffles and bread and ice cream in his diet, he could do better. So cutting out grains is the most important thing you can do to prevent inflammation. And I know it's hard to believe that granola, you don't need to eat it. I thought I needed to eat it, and all it did was give me gas. So cutting out grains is probably the most important thing you can do. And when my 80-year-old friend lost weight, she used the Whole30 diet, which says no grains, no sugar, no beans, and no dairy. So that's where she used my book to figure out what to eat, losing those pounds. She decided that she needed to add some things to her diet and remove the wheat from her diet, which is what we do. And then removing things that give us congestion is the other thing we do. And wheat and milk did it for me, and it does it for a lot of people. I have seen people on Facebook pages who have cured their inflammation, like psoriasis and eczema. I have seen people who got their sexy back. I have seen people who feel better and look better knowing what to eat. And we've all improved our biochemical numbers, which I'm very proud of, because I had high cholesterol, somewhere in the 237 range, and I got it down to 187. And this last year I got it down to 165. So I'm very happy about that. Eating less helped me digest better. I know it was the hardest thing I ever did, was to eat less. You know, doctors recommend a portion size the palm of your hand. It's hard to do unless you eat the foods that are good for you and that your body needs. So learning about the slow genes in my family, I learned which foods to add, and they are folate-rich foods, riboflavin-rich foods, magnesium, zinc. They're all feeding these 7 genes that I will talk about in my courses that we need to feel well and not feel like my friend who just died. She was 70 some and or 80 some, and she felt nudgy. Do you ever feel like you just can't sit still and have to move because you can't sit for long periods of time, or you can't even stand for long periods of time? People on Zoe Wellness say, you know, they eat less and they could now stand to cook. That's where I was. I could not stand to cook. And I knew I had to cook to feel well and age well and help my husband. So I created a course called Feel Fit at Any Age. It was free because I needed something in the premium phase. I changed it to $50. I do have a free course up that's Start Here to learn what you need to eat. I have to build something in the Genius Club now, but it'll be about relationships because I had a time with my family. So this is where I share why we need to change what we eat so that we can feel better. Did that help? That was 8 minutes. That was not long enough.
That's okay. We can take questions or comments or
Okay.
anything else if you want to share it, but yeah, anybody have any questions? And what you have up is the Feel Fit course. Is that the one, Feel Fit at Any Age?
Yeah, that's the one, Feel Fit at Any Age. It's not
Okay.
going to be free anymore,
Okay,
but it's my premium course right now.
looks like it has a lot of good content, so I think that will not be a problem.
And in my final course that I have, I shared recipes from friends who have posted on Facebook. I shared recipes that I've developed. I've shared recipes that my friends have used to get to their optimal health on all the blood type Facebook groups. That's where I learned what I learned. And I learned from my friend what to eat. And I had a time going through menopause, and there's certain things I had to eat that I can no longer eat. And that I can explain in my channel, but there's certain things I cannot eat anymore, so that I used to eat. So.
All right, looks like Joyce has a question or a comment. Go ahead, Joyce.
Yes, thank you so much. Great information. You mentioned in the very beginning taking the Carey test. How do you spell that and where do you go to get it?
taking a test.
The
Yes,
carrier test.
test, you said.
The test is linked in some of my courses, but in my free course, you can get it free, except for I cannot distribute it to other countries free. I guess I would have to give you a credit for the course or credit for what you paid to get that course to you free. But there is a test that tells you exactly which foods to eat for your body.
And say the name of it, Kristi, that's what Joyce wanted to write down.
It's it's on my website. I have it under bit.ly, bit.ly, best foods test.
Okay.
Me too.
You're welcome.
All right, any
Now,
other questions?
there's people who eat 2 meals a day. I need 3 meals and a snack. I've cut out 1 snack, but what I'm trying to do is digest without blood in my stools. So that's the goal of this, is to have people have healthier digestion too, and more energy.
Kristi, I have a question. As you made this transition to eating, what you now eat, how long was that process for you? Was that like a couple of months? Was it a couple of years? Like what do people need to know to make a transition like that? Can they literally start tomorrow and transition, or is there like some sort of a period where they have to wean themselves off of what they were doing and move to something healthier?
It depends on how many cravings they have, how many paradigms they have to change. My 80-year-old friend did it in 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was it fast? Would you say that's fast?
that's fast because it took
Okay.
me 25 years.
Okay. That's kind of what I want to get a feel for.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Joy. So you have your hand up?
Hello, and howdy. Fantastic information, Kristi, but I'm going to piggyback on what Joyce asked you because I still don't have clarity on the answer. You started off by sharing with us some type of test, and I thought you said something like, I wasn't clear on the pronunciation of a carry test. And now you're saying, and I understand that you started off.
A carrier
Because
test.
what I'm going to ask you for is there a link that you can share with us that we can go and get this test? Do we have to pay for this test? I understand that you had a freebie and now you're charging for it, which is all good and well, good for you.
I had a freebie from a company that no longer exists.
Okay.
It
But
was from Pathway
we're asking
Genomics.
for, what I'm asking for, Kristi, I'm sorry to interject and interrupt because I'm excited with all this information you're sharing with us because I know how much it's needed for me and for many people that I know. Is there a link to go somewhere and take this test, or do we now have to, and we ought to be able to purchase your product or your booklet or whatever? But start off by telling us there was
I
a link
don't
or something.
have a link to a carrier test because I don't know which one is good.
Here. Okay, so what I need to do is go to the Great Discovery, find your course, purchase it, and then you'll be able to share with us somewhere where we can go and take this test.
I can share, you can take the test to find your best foods. The carrier test, I do not know which is a good one.
Well, what's the difference between the carrier test and going to find out which foods are best for your DNA system?
The foods that you test for is a measuring test. It measures your upper body to your lower body, your upper leg to your lower leg. It
Okay.
measures your waist, your hips, the
Okay.
size of your head and the angle of your jaw and your fingerprints.
Uh-huh. Okay, and that's no longer in existence.
No, that test is in existence. The one that's not in existence anymore is the carrier test.
Okay, all right. I'm mixing them up, but already, I think I have enough to go with. Thank you so much. It was really powerful information, and all of us need it, whether we know it or not. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Other questions, comments?
Kathy, I can't find my hand up. I'm sorry.
Oh, go for it, and then we'll get to Andrew. Go ahead.
Okay. Quick question. So, Kristi, when I was looking at your content as you were telling us about it, and you were talking about cravings, my problem is exactly the opposite. I'm hardly ever hungry. So I should be thin as a rail, but I'm not because I'm too sedentary. But I eat very little in a day. So would this be something that would, and I have had diverticulitis and I have issues there. I know I do, and I'm working on them, but I really don't know what to change in my food. I feel like I've taken out quite a lot. So
Okay,
just wondered.
yes, it will help,
Okay.
because reducing the inflammation by removing grains, sugar, dairy, and she removed beans. I eat certain beans because my husband made fun of me for having gas. And I found out certain beans helped my AB friend feel full. And
Okay.
for a while, it helped me feel full, but right now I don't eat them right now. I don't need them right now because I feed myself other things. But yes, it will help your diverticulitis because it helped my friend cure her diverticulitis.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Sounds like a great course.
Thanks, Rhonda. Okay, Andrew, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. Well, I personally have had great improvement in my health from eliminating all the things that you mentioned at the beginning, especially sugar. So I think that your message is really great, and I've seen other people also benefit. But I'm curious about eggs, if you have any comments. There's pasture-raised eggs, which have unfortunately gone away in one of the stores I love to go to, and now they only have, I think they call them cage-free. Do you have any comment on that? I've read a lot about it, but I don't
I
know if it
do
matters.
not have comments on eggs. I used to be able to eat them and I can't digest them anymore. So I
Okay.
know one lady who eats 10 eggs a week. I'm sure that she is careful about the eggs she buys, but I have not, I should message her about that so I can find out for you.
Okay, well, the wonderful Hale is going to let me know
Sure
more
about
about
it.
eggs. I'll check in with her. Thank
Okay,
you. Thank you so much.
uh-huh.
All right, let me go to Terza, who is next, and then we'll go to Holly so she can ask her question and talk about eggs.
I didn't really have a question. I just wanted to say I was really lucky to be able to have Kristi on my podcast. And we had a really great conversation about enabling further information for women going through perimenopause as well, and different things that they can do to support their body and health. So firstly, thank you again, Kristi. And two, I've put the
Thank you,
link
Tirza.
in there. It's up on Spotify now.
Okay, great. Thank you, Terza.
Welcome. It was wonderful.
All right, Holly, it's your turn. Ask your question and tell us about eggs and whatever else you want to say.
First, I want to say Kristi was phenomenal, impactful, and I highly recommend getting her course. It's so important what she said. Just want to add to that because our food is so. I had to. Let me make it in short. I had to eliminate a lot of foods, but I did input a lot of foods into my diet so I don't get deprived, and it became a lifestyle. So if you still love beans, what has worked for me, I mean, it works for many and everybody's body is different. For me, because I love certain foods such as tomatoes, eggplant, beans, it's the lectins in those foods that gives the inflammation because our bodies aren't made to have those lectins. So by putting them in the pressure cooker, it reduces it. It does not completely remove it, but it'll help you. Like the bloating, the inflammation was completely gone for me because, as most of you know, I was given the labels of fibromyalgia, Hashimoto, autoimmune. So none of that exists in my life because I eliminate. And sadly, because of US, a lot of foods that have been banned in Europe, it's allowed in here. So it's the glyphosate that's in our foods. And there's more that I can share about that, but that is why we can't eat. And inflammation is huge. Thank you for touching on that.
Yeah, that's true. Can I add something to what Hale said?
Yep.
Blood type O's do well with tomatoes. I'm a blood type A and they make me hurt, so I cannot eat tomatoes anymore. That's another thing I cannot eat anymore. And I cannot eat nightshades at all, so eggplants are out. I love eggplant, but I can't eat it. So
Yes. Have you
by
tried,
fine tuning, huh?
have you tried, I wasn't able to have them previously, but have you tried putting them in the pressure cooker?
No, I own a pressure cooker. I don't use it. I am simple. I like to make things simple. Eggplant is just, I just don't eat it anymore. It's
Right.
not one of the things I need for a slow gene. It's not one of the things I need to support my slow gene status with MTHFR. And if you've never heard of it, it's the major slow gene that affects all the other genes in your body.
Yep.
So I have to
Yep.
eat things that are folate rich, like celery. I have to eat romaine salad. I have to eat asparagus and things like that. So adding extra food for me, it's not the answer because I can't digest everything and I can't eat everything.
Of course, as I said, we're all different. And I was up to a point when I was bedridden, I was up to a point that I've done like elimination and I did a lot of tests, but for me personally, I didn't need to eliminate. At that point, I did long ago, but I started adding them back in by doing things differently. And it worked. Before I wasn't able to, but whatever works, and I'm there with you. Yes,
Yeah,
whatever works for
okay.
you. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, some people can add stuff back, but for me, no.
Yes.
Some things I added back that I didn't want to add back, but I'm doing them now because they don't seem to affect my weight either way.
Perfect. Lovely. About eggs. I'm a huge about eggs because if you put a normal egg in front of me, my body gags. That's how much I'm a huge, yeah, my egg, it was huge for me when I was back in 2011, and I learned the hard way because I would eat eggs and I'm like, this is cage free, this is organic. Then it's what the chickens eat that is huge. If they are fed soy, grains, corn, so that is what it is. Basically, for me, I do pasture raised organic from the farms that are not fed soy or corn. So, and that works. So
That's good.
it really depends on what the eggs eat and make sure it's pasture raised and
You know what
organic.
they told me about cage-free eggs and pasture-raised eggs? They told me that the chickens don't go out anyway, so it doesn't matter what the label is, they're eggs.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So yes, and make sure if you've heard of the brand Happy Eggs, they're orange yolk and it's delicious. So I'm all about
What
food 'cause
kind
I'm
of
a food
eggs?
lover. I'm all about food. And we basically cook most of our food. And if I go outside to eat, I make sure what oil they use because canola oil is very inflammatory. So just
Yeah, it's
put that
also
out.
rapeseed, which is what they oil
Seed
machines with.
oils, yeah, are inflammatory. So
And soy oil is not that great either, right? It's inflammatory.
right, it's not even good for you.
I
And
know.
just soy itself isn't good for you. And there's a lot of debate about that, but I can show you the research on that. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, before I go to Joyce and Vienna, I just want to announce, because Tim put it in the chat, for those that want to attend Dr. Ivanka Farabee's session, that's starting at the bottom of the hour. So please feel free to join that one. I think it's We Speak to the World, and I think he's got some information in chat about that. Okay, Joyce, go ahead.
Yeah, just quickly, what you're showing us, your course is not finished yet. And when will it be up and what will be the cost?
Say that again. What will be the cost?
Yeah, what you're showing us now, is this course up already? And if not, when will?
No, I just loaded it into the premium section for $50. I do have a free course. This used to be free, but it's not anymore. I had to rearrange courses to keep my genius status and everything, so that's what I'm doing now.
Okay. Thank
What,
you.
Wendy, oh, it's under review right now, so it's really just a question of when, usually it's Dennis Denoya who reviewed them, but I believe he's out of town, so it's probably Sandra, and whenever, it'll be probably sometime this week that she'll get to it, and then once she reviews it, it'll go and be published, so.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Vienna.
I have a little fun fact on the egg discussion. My mother was allergic to different kinds of eggs and she couldn't find a pattern. And I completely agree that it's what the chickens ate. But what worked for her is she learned muscle testing. So she goes and looks like she's holding the eggs, like reading the label. And she's trained her body. If this is good for me, I'll lean forward. If this is not good for me, I'll lean back, like away from it. And as long as she stays with that, puts the eggs that she goes forward on in her cart and never the ones that she goes backwards on, her body is reading the contents of the eggs and knows exactly which ones will work for her. And she's never had a reaction since. And muscle testing is one of my favorite things on the planet to teach. And in the next couple of months, I hope to have my muscle testing course up on the platform. So, yay!
That's awesome, Vienna, thank you. Very good. All right, anybody else? Lots of good discussion. All right, well, going once, going twice. Thank you all for being here. And thank you, Kristi, for sharing this. And yeah, guys, just watch for the, probably the course will be up within a week, no more than a week. And it'll be in premium, like you said, because now you're charging for it, but you have a free course and you're working on a Genius Club, correct? So the whole funnel will be there. All right, everybody. Well, have a wonderful holiday. Happy New Year to everybody. And we will see you next Monday night for our next course spotlight. Take care, everybody.
Okay, thank you everyone for staying. Been a privilege to share with what I know. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Kristi.
Thank you. Happy New Year, by the way.
Yeah, Happy New
Happy
Year.
New
Thanks
Year.
for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Happy New Year,
New
everybody.
Year.
All right, goodbye. All right, if there's anything else you want to know, reach out to me because I know quite a bit now about healthy aging and I'm helping my 87-year-old husband get his colon back into health. And I guess we'll say goodbye now.